Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I am Matt. I will be doing Dallas Cowboy videos. My favorite team is the Cowboys, as you can tell. Dak Prescott is here, also having a secret Elliott. Um, I've been a Cowboy fan all my life. I've been one since I was born. My brother was a Cowboy fan. My father was a Cowboy fan. So kind of runs in the family. And I live in New Jersey, so I live surrounded by Giants and Eagle fans. And yes, it's kind of sucks sometimes. But enough about me. Today we'll be looking at the game, previewing the game tomorrow. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Dallas Cowboys from Indy. Um, I will be doing a video after the game, my raw thoughts basically on the game and how it went. So let's get to it. Injury. Let's go with the injury reports. Um, Dallas Cowboys will be without David Irvin, Zach Martin, and Guff Swim. Swim, maybe um, not that big of a loss. Irving, we have a lot of people we can fill on that line. So once again, I'm not worried about the David Irvin injury. Let him heal up, let him get better. Zach Martin's gonna hurt. I won't beat around the bushes. Zach Martin's injury is gonna hurt. It's gonna really hurt us. Um, it'll be his first game he ever misses. Colts have Mark Gla- uh, Gaulinski, probably butchered the name. Sorry. He is the guard. Um, they will be also without Mike Mitchell and Moore, a safety and a linebacker. Um, that is the injury report. Now, for the Cowboys to win this game, this is going to be a defensive thing. I think the offense, I'm not worried about the offense. I think there are two sides of this. Like, I'll go with my three things that need to happen to win the game. Number one, defense, the safeties and the corners and safeties and the linebackers, they're gonna need to uh, be on the game all day. Because Andrew Luck is very good. He's underrated as a quarterback. People talk about they talk about all the good quarterbacks, Brady, Rodgers, but they talk about the new one, Wentz. Um, the guy from Kansas City, my mind's blanking right now. Uh, him talking about Jeff Goff, but they talk about that, but they don't talk about Luck. Andrew Luck is very good at the quarterback. He's he's having a great year. He's on fire this year, and him and he has a lot of good receivers. So he's going to test that the back of our defense, and we're really gonna see if those young guys can do it. If they can keep up and they can keep pushing for 60 minutes, because it's going to be a 60-minute game. They cannot let up for 1 second on defense. If they do, luck will make them pay. Um, Number two, this goes to the line. The defensive line needs to pressure him all day. Um, from DeMarcus Lawrence to when they five-man blitzed it, to the linebackers if they blitzed. Um, One thing Dallas has really good is the D line and linebackers are really good. The D line and blitz and linebackers are very good. Um, Jalen Smith is one of my favorite guys on that defense. Second is Van Der Esch, and I have to admit I was wrong. I thought that was a bit terrible draft pick when they drafted him. I was wrong. Van Der Esch is the best rookie linebacker in the game right now. He he's on fire, and he hasn't started all year. People underestimate. He wasn't starting all year. He only missed. I think he hasn't started all year. So when you look at the fact that he didn't start every game and he's tackle leader and he's high on that list of tackle, it's it's crazy what he's doing. So Van Der Esch, I think, is good, but also have the D line, and the D line is very solid. Gregory on the right side, and on the left side you have DeMarcus Lawrence. But what that does is, and this is why Dallas is do good, they hit you when the line collapses. They can collapse it like this. When you have to worry about DeMarcus Lawrence coming this way, and he hasn't had a sack, he's not been doing well as he was in the beginning of the year, but that's because he's taking pressure. He's they're focusing on him, but what they don't see is they have Randy Gregory coming from this side. That's why Gregory's been doing really good. He had a couple costly penalties, and he needs to work on that. But Gregory has been doing good with um pressuring when they're not seeing him coming and knocking the ball out of the quarterback's hand, which he did a couple times, and that's really good. So that's number two. Number three, often. Uh, Zeke gotta run the ball. To beat a team with a good quarterback who can torch you, and this is how they're gonna have to win going ahead. Going into the playoff and going against teams like the Rams, the Saints, uh, you're gonna have to run it. You're gonna have to run it 25, 30 times a game, maybe even 40. You're going to run him hard. So you gotta be ready for this. He's gonna hit a lot of carries, so um honestly, Zeke, you're gonna have to run Zeke. But um run Zeke and constantly keep the ball running. Because if you keep running the ball, you can control the clock. You can control the clock, you can control momentum of the game, and that's how Dallas beats you. People who don't follow Dallas don't understand. Dallas beats you with the clock. When you have 40 minutes on the field of offense, that basically means your opponent's defense has been on that field for 40 minutes. I don't care how good you are. If you're on the field for 40 minutes, you're exhausted at that point. And it keeps the offense off the field. So, and it helps out your defense. Your defense is fresher. So, obviously, they're going to have to keep running it. Another thing you can say is Dak needs to not turn over the ball. Dak has a lot of issues, and as somebody who supports Dak, I am wearing a jersey. He needs to do better. He has done awful in terms of ball protection and getting sacked. He holds on to the ball too much. He needs to trust his receivers. He needs to. Amari Cooper has been amazing for Dallas. If Amari Cooper didn't come to Dallas, we're in the bottom of the basement. I'm not even sure how many wins we do have. Cooper is amazing and has helped Dak because Dak needed a number one receiver. Cooper is a number one receiver. I don't know what the Raiders were doing. Maybe their car is not as good as people say he is, but he has been doing awful with Cooper. And I don't know where the issue is with Cooper in Raiders. Maybe in Oakland. Maybe Oakland fans can actually tell me where his issue was. But Amari Cooper comes to Dallas and he's having a stud year, and he shocked the world by doing it. And I'm not ashamed to pay that first round pick. We're not gonna have a first round pick next year, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about not having a first round pick in the 2019 draft. Um, I don't think it's a big deal because I look at it and I say, yeah, we don't have a first round pick, but I think we helped ourselves out by getting Amari Cooper. He's what Dez should have been. Dez, for all, I like Dez. I like him. He's a good guy, but he really he's not as he's slowed down in recent years. Um, Deb Bryant hasn't had a 1,000 yard season in a long time. I think in 3 or 4 full seasons, he hasn't had a uh he hadn't had a full 1,000 yard season. So mm, he took pressure off that, but that's all he did. He didn't actually, and he had the production had dropped across the board. The numbers have dropped steadily, and Amari Cooper, even though he had like 600 and something yards in, he has 642 yards and 6 touchdowns with 40 reception and 53 targets with the Cowboys. With the Raiders, he had 31 targets, 22 receptions, 280 yards, and a touchdown. So, honestly, right there, you can see he's having a great year. I believe he'll keep being a force to be reckoned with. He is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the offense. So with this game, do I want my prediction? I'll say it this way: this might be a trap game. Dallas needs to be careful because this is a game you could lose. I basically said to my friend, I don't. I thought Dallas was gonna beat the Saints. I thought Dallas was gonna beat the Eagles. I said I think Dallas was gonna win those 2 games, and then they lose against the Colts. Then they win against the Bucks and Giants. Um, it's tough because I've changed my mind. I no longer think Dallas is losing this game. Well, they can afford to lose this game. They have 3 games to win one. If they win one game, the division's there. So with that in mind, I think I'm gonna go with 27, 17 Dallas. I think Dallas um keeps the pressure on. They get ahead, and in garbage time, 14 points will be good in garbage time. I think Dallas defense put too much pressure on them. It's going to be too much for them. Dallas has one of the top defenses in the league, and I'm a believer defense wins championship. I'm not going to predict it, who's going to go, what the playoff is going to happen. I take it one game at a time. But I've always been in the belief defense wins championships. That's basically what it is. And I think we have a lot of good defense. We have the Cowboys, we have the Bears, we have the Ravens, we have the Texans. These are some great defenses. And I think we're going to see some very good defenses mix it up with offenses in a couple weeks. And honestly, I think this is going to be too much for the Colts. I think Dallas is in a house of fire right now, and I don't think they're going to go down anytime soon. I'd like them to take a loss. Before I know that sounds weird. Why would I want them to take a loss? Take the loss next week. I would rather lose the Bucks game and then win against the Giants and Colts, just because winning that many games in a row is a hard thing to do. I've always had the belief of have a loss before you get to the playoff, but not the very end. Like 1 or 2 games out before the playoff, then you lose, and then you win the rest. That's fine with me. Um, with this in mind, I think this is week that it comes to playoff. I think the Colts are it's gonna be too much for them, and Andrew Luck will not have a good game. He'll have if you have him on fantasy, I think he's gonna get 2 touchdowns because I think they will give up points in the garbage time, and that's where you're gonna get the 17 points. So it's gonna be a 10-point game. Thank you very much. I will be coming in to you after the game, and I will be coming to you after the game about my thoughts on the game, how it did, how we did, and all that. Until then, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.